Hey everyone, this is Karen Waksman, founder of Retail MBA. Today we're going to be talking about wholesale automotive accessories. So if you have a great wholesale automotive accessory product, this little training will give you some things to think about in regards to your wholesale automotive accessory. With that said, let's get started on today's training. Hey everyone, this is Karen Waksman, founder of Retail MBA. I'm so excited about today's training. It will be all about the automotive industry. If you have a great consumer product and you want to sell to retail chains like AutoZone and all the different retailers like that, and you have a product that is an auto part or an accessory, and you're curious about what you need to think about when going after these retailers, just wanted to support you by helping you actualize your dreams about selling to these stores. A little background about me: I've sold millions of consumer products to the world's largest retailers as a manufacturer's rep, which is a sales rep that sells products to retail chains. Over the last 11 years, I've taught companies across the globe on how to generate revenue with their consumer products, including plenty of auto care products and so forth. And so just wanted to give you some quick tips and strategies on how to do that and how to get started today. All right, let's talk about the automotive category. First thing I want you to know is that in our industry, they're considered auto aftermarket products. So the reason I mention that is because when you're digging around online and you're looking around for what people are considering, what category and so forth for retailers, auto aftermarket is the terminology that they use a lot of times for these retailers, just based on the fact that they are basically not talking about you selling directly to a dealership, but also focused on the retail space. So just wanted to mention that it's just a terminology that comes up a lot. So one of the things that people are always asking me is, Karen, how do I sell to retailers if I have an auto product? We got to discuss your strategy, because most people who have an auto product will immediately want to go sell to the AutoZone stores and all the different retailers that are specifically auto related. It makes perfect sense. You want to generate revenue. There's auto in the title of the retailer, and you want to make money from that store. The problem with that strategy is when you're first getting started, a lot of times every one of your competitors is considering that same strategy. So they're all calling these stores. And the problem with that is these are stores that are limited in what they're able to buy from you. And so they tend to reject auto products more than anyone else, not because you don't have a great product, but a lot of times they just have seen everything and everyone comes to them. And so it's just in general in life, when you're trying to sell something to somebody and they're always getting the best, the cream of the crop coming to them, all the top distributors and retailers and all sorts of things coming at them, just make sure that you understand that they're a little bit more keen toward rejecting your product. Not because it's not a great product, but just because everyone presumes to go to your favorite retailer and try to sell to them first. As a rep, someone who sold products to retailers for years, I learned a long time ago that the best way to generate revenue with your consumer product is definitely go after the AutoZones of the world, of course. But if they reject you, don't take it personally. Just go to all the other retailers who have automotive categories in their stores. For instance, Walmart, Target, Sears, all the different types of retailers where your competitors are wanting to sell into, but it's not as rampant. And one of the reasons I say this is because don't feel bad if you get rejected by your top 3 retailers, because every one of them are looking for products to buy in the auto care industry. And all you need is one yes with retail chains. I've seen it time and time again. One yes from one chain store, and all of a sudden, the other retailers will start paying attention to you. Walmart is shopping at all these auto stores. Target is shopping at all these auto stores. Sears is shopping and looking around and seeing what's going on in the world, and vice versa. They're all looking to see what product they're missing. They're trying to generate revenue with consumer products. And honestly, it's mostly about somebody took a chance on your product. They were willing to explore a new product. And so they like that. They don't want risky products in their stores, meaning products that maybe don't have a huge brand behind them and so forth. So getting that first yes is always the most complicated for people. And so that's why I always tell people to go after as many retailers as possible initially. It's a numbers game. And then don't take it personally if somebody says no to you, because eventually when you get a yes from somebody, you can go back to all the other retailers and get interest from them and so forth. It's a domino effect. That's why so many of my clients have started with one retailer, and then all of a sudden all these retailers are suddenly interested in them. So Going beyond what you're used to, what you're comfortable with, what makes logical sense to you, usually is where the money's at. So I really wanted you to understand that you shouldn't forget other retailers. It doesn't help you. And by the way, with the auto industry, it's unfortunate, but you're going to have to deal with distributors more than most types of products. Certain categories of products, you deal with different things. That's why I create these trainings. And if you want to know more about the different categories of retailers and what you're up against, some strategies and so forth, be on the lookout on all the video trainings I'm creating on the subject. But for auto industry, you unfortunately are going to have to deal with more distributors. What a distributor is, it's a third party that will be taking a piece of the pie in regards to your financial success. These are third party companies like an extended sales division. And when they choose your product to put in their system, they are representing you essentially with retail stores. There's so much more to say about working with distributors. We did create a training on how to work with distributors in another video segment, so take a look at that. But generally speaking, distributors take a decent chunk of your commissions, your revenues, and so forth when they work with you. And unfortunately, in the auto industry, just be prepared that if you reach out to retailers, sometimes they'll say, you need to work with this distributor in order for me to work with you. Now, when that happens, you're just going to have to deal with the fact that someone else is going to be part of your revenue stream because that distributor is managing that relationship with the retailer. Again, I've created trainings on all this type of information about working with distributors and so forth, but just note that it's a very common thing in the industry as an auto company. And just be aware that you may have to share in on the revenue if you work with retailers in regards to the auto industry. There's nothing wrong with that. Part of the issue is that for these categories where their distributors are very important, it's mostly because there's so many SKUs and there's so many products out there, and the retailers have so many different stores, and the retailers don't have time to manage the thousands and thousands of stores. So sometimes they like the distributor to handle the shipping and the deliverability and all the things. It makes logical sense for them to work with you in this way, but it is annoying in your case in that, again, sometimes you don't have a choice. You do have to partner with somebody else. And a lot of times distributors don't answer your phone calls, and that is frustrating as well. So the bottom line is just note that there's usually a middleman who's going to be between you and the retailer. Sometimes with the auto industry, there's more to say on that, but that's the essence of it. And just be accepting and understanding that it is what it is. You pick the auto industry and you're going to have to deal with it. It's just certain categories are that way. There are other product categories where you don't have to deal with that. But for the auto industry, that's something to think about. The other thing I want to mention is that there are associations related to every product category out there. If you want to learn more about your industry as a whole, I highly recommend exploring your local association related to your product type. For instance, autocare.org is an example of an association that focuses on the auto industry and so forth. Why you want to participate in associations? Well, there's like-minded individuals who've already been selling their products out in the world. You can connect with people and work with people in regards to your product and find out what they're doing. It's not as lonely when you have someone else to interact with about the industry that you're in. They can help you figure out packaging and pricing and all sorts of interesting things. It's helpful in some ways for sure to connect with like-minded individuals. And so I always tell people to definitely consider learning more about these associations. You may want to try and skimp and not spend money on these industries, but to be honest with you, it can be very beneficial because you're basically going out there and saying to the world, I'm very serious about my business, because people who are part of associations tend to be more legit and tend to have made a lot of money with their products, and that would be someone you want to spend some time with, especially in the auto industry, and they can give you some quick tips and strategies as well. The other thing I want to mention is in your industry, the SEMA Show is the most popular one. This could change by the time you hear this, but they've been around forever, SEMA. And essentially, if you want to explore what's going on in the world of auto, you might want to go check out their show just to walk the floor, not necessarily to sell through SEMA Show. You can. We teach strategies
on how to generate revenue virtually without having to go to all these events. You can, and it's still a very good strategy. And we teach you how to go after trade shows as well in our systems and programs, but just sharing that with you, that if you want to learn more about your industry and so forth, it is good to know what's happening in the world. And these shows, when you're able to go to them, are going to be useful for you in terms of learning and education and seeing what's hot and what's new, who your competitors are, and so forth. I hope that provided value for you. If you are looking for a way to generate revenue with your consumer product in the auto industry, please take a look at our free training on retailmba.com/free. We provide a epic training solution for people who want to understand how the industry works, what makes buyers more inclined to buy, and so forth. It's absolutely free. There's no obligation, and you can spend some time with us. We spend 90 minutes explaining how the retail industry works, absolutely free, just to support people. And we also have the ability to work with people in multiple ways. We have live events, we have virtual events, we have done with you programs, do it yourself programs, done for you programs. Anyone who's interested in selling products to retail chains and beyond, we teach those strategies. So take a look at our website, retailmba.com, and take a look at our testimonial page. We have so many success stories of people with zero experience, zero buyer relationships, zero patents getting into the world's largest retailers, making millions of dollars. And we basically provide a formula on how to do that. So if you want to get the free content and or subscribe to anything that we do and or keep in touch with us, please also like this video, subscribe, get involved, and be part of our community. We do all sorts of amazing systems to help people expedite the process of generating revenue. And I hope this information helped. Karen Waksman, Retail MBA Brands. I appreciate you. And if you're watching this, you obviously are very serious about your business. So try not to do this alone. There are people in the world who've been doing this for years. I've personally been doing this for close to 20 years, and I'd love to help you. Just scale your brand and grow. And that's what we do here. Thanks so much for your time. We wish you the best. Join us at our next event or anything that we do, and take a look at all the links provided so that we can support you further. Thanks again.